In today's video, I am going to give you some reasons why I think the payroll protection plan is designed to put you out of business. Welcome back to my channel. I am Chawanne Burns. Please click that subscribe button and that like button. The federal government has failed the small business owners. Number one, they're not divvying out the money or dishing out the money to actual small business owners. They're having to call these big businesses, say, hey, give her our money back because we shouldn't loan you that money. The other thing is it took them too damn long to act. So just a little bit of background on myself. I am a business owner. I've been a business owner for about 4 years. That's one part of my background. The other part is I am a trained engineer. I have 2 degrees in engineering, one in chemical engineering and one in engineering management. I practiced engineering for about 8 years. What I mainly did, besides handling capital projects, one of my main jobs was calculating emissions data. So when I'm a very analytical person, so when I see numbers and I see what's happening, then I make my conclusion. So we're going to get into some numbers, some facts, and then I'm going to tell you why I think the PPP program is full of shit and it's not designed to help you succeed as a business owner. Okay? So some facts. I might sound angry, but I'm really not angry. I'm kind of upset with the whole process, but I am upset about the way it's been handled and how much, as a small business owner, we impact the economy. Okay, so that's what I want you to realize. You are an important person as a small business owner. You make the economy run, okay? So some facts, 99.9% of the U.S. economy is comprised from small businesses. What is a small business? You're considered a small business if you have 500 or less employees. Now, this is from U.S. Small Business Administrations, so the SBA, Office of Advocacy. So I'm just reading back and forth, so I'm looking at my notes. How many small businesses that's out there? There are about 30 million businesses, small businesses in the U.S. right now. This is from 2018. They're saying 80% of the businesses had no employees. Okay? You're considered non-employees. Another 20% had paid employees. That's about 5.9 million employees. There are about 19,000 large businesses out there, and that's any businesses that are larger than 500 or 501. So another fact I want to point out, and this is why you have the power to make some changes. When it comes time for your state and local election, you need to put this in your memory bank and make your decisions off of what's happening now. 64% of all new jobs comes from small business. So 64% of jobs created comes from small businesses. Why? That's because those small businesses are growing, okay? And they're offering jobs, okay? So you have to, like I said, if your business grows, employment grows, okay? That's why I say you are special. You have the power. 47% of all private sector jobs held are from small businesses. Why is the number 64 of created versus 47 held? Is because probably partial of those firms, partial or some of those firms have moved across that 500 threshold. Now this is mind blowing right here. And this is why I want to make sure you keep these facts in your memory bank when I started spewing out my own analogy of it, okay? There are approximately 124 million eligible workers or able-bodied workers out there in the U.S., and 53 million of those workers are considered low-wage workers. What are low-wage workers? It varies from state to state, but on average, and I highballed it, on average, you make $15 an hour or less. You are considered a low-wage worker, okay? But more likely, on average, is $10.25. Average low-wage worker is making, out of that 53 million, the average makes $10.25 an hour, okay? So say, for instance, it's $15 an hour. We're just going to put that out there. We're highballing it. So $15 an hour. If you make $15 an hour, you're bringing home $600 a week. That's $2,400 a month. Minus taxes, you're probably bringing home about $2,000 a month. So that's about $24,000 a year after taxes, okay? And I just took out the standard taxes. I didn't take out like taxes for insurance, or not taxes, but deductions for insurance, if you got a 401k or anything like that. So I didn't do any of that. So $24,000 is probably your take-home pay. So keep that in mind. This is why I said it is not designed, PPP wasn't designed correctly. It's going to make a whole bunch of businesses fail. Because it's going to screw up their cash flow. Number one, the payroll protection program, the purpose of that is to keep your employees working. When they passed the bill, your employees was probably out of work. If you were like anybody in Michigan, you were probably out of work for about a week and a half. So during that time, you were able to file for unemployment. So the state shut down, they filed for unemployment. You applied for the payroll protection plan. They said it was going to only take 2 to 3 days to release the money, but it actually took them about 2 weeks to release the money. That's if they even got to your application. Put that in the comment section. What was the time frame? If you applied for the PPP, what was the time frame from the time that you applied for the loan, the time that you got a call back, and then the time for you receiving that loan? Your low wage worker, if you have any, they already filed for unemployment. And not only they filed for unemployment, they was able to get the pandemic unemployment. So your pandemic unemployed employee receive not only the 362 or something in that. I'm using the number 362 because that's what the max out of unemployment, that's what the number is in Michigan. So let's say, for instance, they got the max benefit of 362. Then they got the 600. Now your employee that was making $600 a week before taxes, now they making $962 a week. This is why I'm saying PPP was designed. It was a bad design. I use the word design because I'm an engineer, but maybe it's another word I could use. So it was flawed, okay? It's full of shit. You can't get your employers back to work because now they rolling in the dough because they're making $962 a week. Would you go back to work? If you was making, now you on the come ups, because if I'm a low wage worker and I had bills to pay anyway, and I have a chance to collect $962 for the next 3 months, would you actually go back to work? Hell no. Okay? I wouldn't go back to work. What if your employee does want to come back to work? Oh yeah, I want to come back to work. I do want to, but now you don't got no way to put your kids. So maybe they don't fit in that criteria. Maybe they make above the $15 an hour and they collect more working than unemployment. Or you can't go back to work because you don't got nowhere to put your kids. And this is for the single parents, so you're stuck. So you have to stay at home because you don't have anybody to take care of your kids. So that leaves it up to you as the small business owner. You're scrambling. Now you got this PPP loan and you have to, for it to be forgivable, you have to spend it on payroll. So now you got to find new people that's willing to work. Now, I don't know about you. Maybe this is, and I'm pretty sure you got the same thought process. Why in the hell would I pay people to stay at home? Even though if it's forgivable. The government gave you a 1% loan of 1%. Even if it's a loan, even if it's not forgivable, you have to pay it in 2 years. But the government gave you a 1% loan. And they want you to say, oh, keep your workers to work. And you got to hire them back full time by June the 30th. But you don't have any work for them because your business is shut down. The government shut your business down. Would you give your employees free money? I mean, I'm benevolent, but hell no. I got a 1% loan. I'm going to invest into something else. Something that's going to make more money for me. But you can't do that. So maybe that's my own thought process. Me as a business owner, you get really savvy about money. And one of those things is not to give away money, even though it's forgivable. You don't have to agree with me. But let me know why you disagree with my analogy. The next flaw in the PPP, your rent and utilities is way higher than your payroll expenses. They said 80% or 24 million businesses had no employees. So more likely you are only paying yourself or your 1099s. But even if you do have employees and you have a building, but your payroll expenses are far less than your building expenses. I just read an article. There's a guy, he's in the mall. He has about 9 or 10 employees. His payroll runs about $8,000. His rent is $8,200 a month. Utilities is $1,400 a month. He's eligible for $20,000, but he's required to spend $15,000 on payroll and only $5,000 left. And that's the paycheck protection plan. So he will only have $5,000 left over if he takes a PPP loan. And he hasn't heard anything back from the EDIL. Let me know if you're in that same predicament. I'd like to know. Like I said, it's a flawed system. Another point that I want to make out. So you got the loan. You ran into the predicament. I can't hire my employees back. I can't find other employees to fill the space. So that means bills are still piling up, rent, maybe utilities. You probably could shut your lights off or whatever. But the bills are still piling up. And you still, but you have this money. So what are you going to do? You're going to pay the bills. Why increase your debt? You got money and you can pay whatever bills that's accumulating. Just pay them off, right? You'll pay your vendors off. So you voided your forgivable. You voided that because you spent it on something that the government said you couldn't spend it on. So no one knows how the economy is going to bounce back because we haven't been in this predicament before. So no one knows, how President Trump, the economy is going to be like a light switch. I don't know if he uses that word, but, he's going to turn on and off. It's like a faucet. Like it's going to bounce back greater than before. That's a bunch of crap, okay? Nothing against President Trump, but that's a bunch of crap because we know that people are afraid. If you are a restaurant and you probably was getting patronized early in the morning, especially these Coney Islands and mom and pop shop. Your elderly people was your early morning patrons. You know, grandpa down the street, they all commune and buy a cup of coffee and eat breakfast or whatever. So, but you know what? Old people are afraid. They're afraid to leave their house. Parents are afraid because they scared the crap out of everybody. Number one, they don't have enough testing. So the economy is not going to be bouncing back like they anticipated. I'm going to do a video about that, where I think the economy is going. And you're going to be holding the bag of that whatever note, and you have to pay it back in 2 years. And anybody know, if you know like I know, the federal government, they don't play around with their money. Okay? Even though you didn't have to do a personal guarantee or anything like that, they do have your Social Security number. So you're stuck. You're stuck paying this note, and it's gonna mess with your cash flow. So let me know what you think. Give me your perspective. If you agree or disagree, I'm open, because maybe I'm seeing it, through my tunnel vision. But this is what I think. Is not designed to help the business owner, the small business owner. Whoever thought about it, they didn't have these statistics, apparently, or they didn't give a crap. I am sending all my good to you, and I will talk to you soon.